Hey there, Virgo. Welcome to your reading for the week, for May 2023. I feel like I've been saying May 2024 all day, so I don't know. Mercury retrograde, you're like the only person today that has probably received the correct day, or the correct month, whatever you want to call it. But Virgo, let's see. You start off with a sports card. It says collaborate and work as a team to boost your finances. And it also says have more fun and build new connections to grow a new career. I feel like all your readings have basically been talking about this, have been like suggesting that you could be like taking your business in a new direction. You could be taking your career in a new direction. I don't think you're making like some sort of, I'm not, again, I like I always say, I'm not suggesting that you're completely changing everything that you're doing. I just think that maybe you're going through like an evolution or an upgrade, if that makes sense. And, again, if you're doing that, I see here that it's going to be extremely good for you. So, I am definitely a big fan of doing this. You start off with the Five of Cups here. Pretty much every single sign that I've read for has had something about kind of like being triggered by a past loss. It could just be this Mercury retrograde. I have a feeling that it will change once we get to the middle of the month. And of course, I will be doing a mid-month update on the channel, so keep an eye out for that. But, I kind of have a feeling that that will improve once we get to that point, if that makes sense. I also feel like for some of you that the Five of Cups can represent like gratitude or needing to be grateful for something. I always say that there's like two cups behind the guy on this card, and when he turns around and sees those two cups, he also sees the bridge and the castle as well. So I feel like some of you, it's like saying there's actually some good stuff coming in for you. You have the Six of Wands, so clearly some sort of victory. You have the Ten of Pentacles, the Eight of Wands, Star, Queen of Pentacles, Three Cups of celebration. To me, it looks like a really good month for you. I kind of knew that it would be a good month for you, so it doesn't really surprise me. I think that there are just going to be some victories this month. I feel like you're going to end the month feeling victorious as well, like really accomplished. And just it feels good is what I'd say, Virgo. I feel like you're feeling good this month, just for the first time in a while. You have the Ten of Pentacles. Ten of Pentacles, like building and leaving a legacy. It is a card of success, abundance. A lot of people are focused on this right now, especially you earth signs, because of Uranus and Taurus. Uranus and Taurus puts a major focus on like long-term security, but it really puts a focus mostly on the things in life that can provide us with long-term value, whatever that means for you. It could be love, could be business, your health, all those things in your life. And I feel that you're very focused on like creating long-term value. With the Five of Cups, you have the Tree. Are you like, seriously? The Tree is a card of longevity. It is a card of, building something that lasts for a very long period of time. So, and mostly because when you do that, it provides security. So there you go. This is what you're looking for. I feel like you're just looking for longevity, security in pretty much anything that you build. One of my favorite quotes from Jim Rohn, by the way, is like, how big do trees grow? As much as possible is the answer. So I feel for a lot of you, it's like you don't want to, I feel like you want to truly enter into situations where there's just grow. You know what I mean? There's like no end necessarily to the growth potential. With the Six of Wands, you have the Coffin. The coffin in the Lenormand, traditionally the coffin door is always closed in the coffin, and it basically just says you're inside the coffin. You need to get outside the coffin because that's where your new life exists. So it basically says you have to leave the past behind. And pretty much every single sign that I've read for today, there's been a major focus on like needing to leave the past in the past, not just love. We're talking about, ideas that aren't working anymore, health routines that aren't working anymore, like whatever isn't working, I would leave it in the past and step in to start doing something new. With the Ten of Pentacles, you have this photograph card. This deck has some extra cards in it that are not Lenormand cards. This card says the past memories, the past returning, past influences, familiarity, and nostalgia. So kind of like the Six of Cups, but I would be careful of the past with this energy because, again, I really feel for you, Virgo, that everything is in front of you. Like everything you want is in the future, this way, towards the future. Kind of looks like you have a bright future to look forward to. But again, if you're staying stuck in that coffin, I feel like that is not a good idea. Next, in what you need to know right now, you have this child card. It says fresh start, new beginning, phase, newness, childish, pregnancy, naive, children, inner child. I kind of feel like you need to tap into your inner child. I think everyone needs to have more fun right now. We've had a very serious, like, 8 months, basically. So go back 8 months, like probably last summer. It's probably been very much more serious energy in life since then, right? And so we have to balance the energy in the other direction. So, I kind of feel these readings have really been encouraging you to, get out there, do things that you enjoy. It could be anything. It could be, having a day at the park, going to the zoo, going to the beach. Could be like whatever you do for fun. Doesn't matter. I would just like go do something because I think it's just going to bring some fresh, fun energy into your life. You have the Star, the Seven of Cups, and the Queen of Cups here. I really feel you're just standing out in a big way. So, I always say that the Star is an amazing card for getting attention. And, definitely if you want like a raise or a promotion, for example, the Star says get as much attention as you possibly can and work and you'll get attention. If you have a business, try to get as much attention as you possibly can. Just look at my channel, copy the things that I do, right? It's like, I literally do the things that I say I'm going to do, right? It drives me nuts when people say, do as I say, not as I do. No, I do it, right? Look at all the stuff I'm doing. It's like, I'm doing it for a reason. And, again, because it works. And right now, especially. So I would be doing anything you can to get positive attention. Of course, we want positive attention, not negative attention. So, I would make sure to keep it positive. But I feel like there are just so many opportunities. Again, if you have like an online business, a YouTube channel, whatever, that for you to get positive attention. And that's what I would be doing. And again, I feel like you have a lot of ideas. Seven of Cups says that you are spoiled for choice. So I feel there's a lot of opportunity here. I do kind of feel like a juggling energy here for some reason. You don't really necessarily have any cards that would suggest that, but, and I'm not talking about like juggling people. I just think maybe you're very busy right now, or you're kind of, maybe you have a lot of irons in the fire, so to speak, and you could just be finding yourself being busy, right? And we go down to the Justice card here. So again, I do think that it's going to be important for you to like balance your energies and make sure that you're like not getting too tired, or that you're not getting burnt out and things like that. Make sure you're taking time for yourself, even if it's just like little moments throughout the day where you can meditate or for like 5 minutes or something. It's popping into my head as like more important than you think. So I would do it. You have the Queen of Cups here. By the way, some of you could definitely be attracting like a Pisces or someone with Pisces in their chart. Like I always say, I'm a Pisces. Pisces is all up in everybody's business. I call Pisces out in their own readings as well for being creepy. So, what I would say here is, take it how it resonates, right? Trust me, I get it. I'm a Pisces, but it could be a Pisces for some of you. It could be another sign, but whatever it is, I feel like that there could be true love, because Queen of Cups is, someone who has a good heart, and by the way, Pisces twice here. So I feel like regardless of what it is, doesn't matter. I feel like it's someone who's like probably intuitive, probably has a good heart as well, right? With the Star card, you have the Moon. Yes, there's some sort of big dream. The Moon in Lenormand is different than the Moon in the Tarot. The Moon in the Lenormand kind of represents the fact that you have this big dream up here. Seven of Cups. Literally, he's normally on the Seven of Cups, he's like looking up at the clouds that have, the opportunities, the things that he wants. The Moon in the Lenormand says you need to be creative in how you bring those dreams down to earth. So clearly you've been thinking about doing something new in your life that is creative, or that you feel will get you closer to a goal, wish, or dream. And I feel like now is the time to like put it into practice, or to get moving, because you're going to accomplish it quickly. With the Seven of Cups, you have the Bear. The Bear is pressure. The Bear is overbearing energy. Everybody's had the Bear, I'm pretty sure. So, there could be like a certain amount of pressure the first half of this month. Again, I think it'll be pretty interesting to see what happens when I do the mid-monthly readings. I have a sneaking suspicion that the second half of the month is going to be not easier, but just, less overbearing. I kind of feel like by the second half of this month, this type of energy might be going away. And again, this isn't necessarily a bad card either. Like I said on that Seven of Cups, in the Eight of Wands, I think is where I was going with that, is that you have like a lot of irons in the fire. I feel like you're working on a lot of different things. Maybe you're planning a lot, or maybe you have a lot of ideas about what you want to do. And, I kind of feel that. With the Queen of Cups, you have the Ship. Yeah, this is a card of like distance, traveling, moving, going on a journey. Again, I feel that would be an amazing idea for you to like, especially if you just need a vacation or something like that. I think a vacation would be probably much more beneficial than you realize. Again, the Queen of Cups, I kind of look at her, even though I feel like you could be attracting someone who just has a good heart, like a very heart-based person, I also look at her as like meditation, you know, needing to meditate, needing to go on vacation, needing to get out of your head, needing to do something that you want to do. And I kind of get that energy there with this ship. And again, it wouldn't surprise me. I think I said this during your last reading as well. It would not surprise me if you were moving, because there's just like a lot of good moving energy for you. That's my reason. I don't really have a reason. Next, you have this Wilderness card. This is from the Threads of Fate Empyrean Oracle, and it is like an animated card, holographic card like this. Full disclosure, I have a business relationship with Threads of Fate, but they are launching 3 awesome new decks that are also kind of like holographic. I'll be showing those off in a couple of days here, and but if you want more information, you can see the Kickstarter down below for those decks. But I feel like, again, as I was saying, some of you need to get out into the wilderness. I feel like you need to reconnect with nature. It is also kind of interesting as well that I think it was Pisces that had something about like needing to reconnect with your wild side, you know? So maybe some of you have been just cooped up for too long. And I'm not suggesting like wild side, like, you know, go run the streets and get arrested. That's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about like being creative, or, you know, doing something that is creative in your life, or something like, don't be afraid to get messy, you know, especially like in work or business. You might have some crazy creative idea, right? And, you know, I feel like this is saying, try it, see what happens. I also feel like something that it's like saying, don't be afraid to be controversial. Like, don't be afraid to do things that you feel like you shouldn't do, or, you know, don't be afraid to do things. Like, I'm a big fan of embarrassing myself as well. Like, you know, again, I learned from Sarah Blakely, the girl who, or the lady, the woman, whatever you want to call her, that invented Spanx. Like, she embarrasses herself every single day on purpose, because when you do that, then you stop caring what people think, right? It makes you super powerful. So I kind of feel like some of you, this is like saying, don't be afraid to, and we're not talking about doing anything like crazy or illegal. Like I said, we're just talking about like little things that, where I feel like this is saying, don't be afraid to, you know, show your true self. You have the 8 of Wands, the Hangman, and the Justice card here. I feel like some of you have been waiting for justice with the Justice card. I feel like something maybe over the last 8 months was really unfair for you here, Virgo. Like, I feel some of you maybe experienced something that was like really unfair, or was really unbalanced, or something like that. For some of you, I feel like it was in love. For others, I feel like just life in general here. And it's like you've been waiting for karma, or you've been waiting to get positive karma or justice. And, you know, again, the 8 of Wands can be like a quick conclusion. It can also be like good news, but I also look at the 8 of Wands as kind of like manifestation. Traditionally, the 8 of Wands was your rockets of, or it was traditionally your arrows of love, meaning you tell the universe what you want in love, the universe responds with like signs, symbols, synchronicities. But Esther Hicks calls it your rockets of desire, meaning like you're telling the universe what you want, the universe is responding with like signs, symbols, inspirations, things like that. And I feel like things are a little bit more clear. I also feel like you could, if something was unfair, like that's a word that's popping into my head. If something was unfair, I feel like you could be getting some clarity or closure on an unfair situation, whether it was in love, business, or otherwise. You know, for some of you, I feel like it was work. Like maybe someone got a promotion and you didn't, and you should have gotten it or something. It's almost like you're getting closure, but it might not be coming from the person, right? You could be providing your own closure. You could also, like if this was a job, for example, you could be starting your own business, getting rich, and providing your own closure by doing it that way, right? But whatever it is, doesn't matter. I feel like for a lot of you, you've just kind of been waiting for the answers. You know, the Hangman, he puts himself in Hangman mode so that he can gain enlightenment. He's hoping to receive enlightenment, you know, for, you know, whatever situation he feels like has been keeping him stuck. And I feel like you're kind of getting some answers here that you have been waiting for. With the 8 of Wands, you have the Whip. The Whip says stop beating yourself up for things from the past. You know, traditionally in the Lenormand, the Whip is a card of like whipping yourself in the back, basically beating yourself up for things that maybe didn't work out, or, you know, beating yourself up for things that where you feel like things should have gone a different way. You know, and so it basically says, don't do that, number one. It also says, you know, again, if you made a mistake in the past, don't repeat the mistake. It's kind of like a card that says, you know, if a person was a mistake, don't repeat the mistake. If you notice behavior in a person that you're dealing with, don't repeat the mistake. Same thing in work or business or health, you know, pay attention to like what's working, what's not. With the Hangman, you have the Devil. It says shadow self, addiction, obsession, kind of like the Devil in the tarot. Again, this is not a Lenormand card. It's just like an extra card in this deck. So I would be careful of any toxic energies. I would be careful of anything that has like kind of left you feeling out in the cold going this way. Clearly, this direction is much more positive. It could also just be a Capricorn that's coming in for some of you. With the Justice card, you have the Tower. Again, this is not like the Tower in the tarot. The Tower in the Lenormand can represent something that stands on its own, something that stands out, something that kind of it has structure, something that's actually very secure. So I feel like you could be building something in your life that really is going to help you stand out. And you have that star and the moon, which really tells me you have the opportunity to stand out in a big way. So don't be afraid to keep moving in your new direction. Next, you have this card that says the Weaver on it. And again, I feel like this is all about your story. All the earth signs keep getting these cards that really would represent your story. I think that it's Uranus and Taurus. Uranus and Taurus has a lot to do with our values, but if we're like living some sort of story that does not align with our values, then we're going to have a hard time. And so I feel like for a lot of you, that you could be trying to figure out, like, what do you value in life? What kind of experiences and things do you want to have in your life? You could even be looking at the things you don't have with the Five of Pentacles, which again is not necessarily a bad thing. You know, sometimes just we need to see what we don't have that we want so that we can actually go get it, right? And so I don't necessarily look at this as a bad thing. I think, you know, one of my other favorite people of all time, Louise Hay, she used to say that there's nothing wrong with like looking at negative things in life. Because it's like, obviously, if you have a bunch of dirt on your floor, you need to be able to see it to be able to sweep it up in the first place. So sometimes I think the spiritual community gets way too caught up in like saying, oh, we can only be positive. And trust me, I changed my life through positive thinking, and I am extremely positive to like a sickening degree, right? In my life lately for the past few years, and it really works. But again, that doesn't mean that I ignore the bad stuff. That doesn't mean that I don't pay attention to it and try to fix it or try to make it go in another direction. I just change the way I look at it in my head. Again, Wayne Dyer, like, since we're on this, Hay House kick, let's bring up Wayne Dyer. He says, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change, right? So it's not that I don't look at negative things anymore. I just change the way I look at it. And I feel like the Five of Pentacles is kind of saying that to you, Virgo. Can you look at the things that you don't have and then just say, how can I get that? Or how can I fix it? How can I make it better? How can I get what I want? You have the High Priestess, trust your intuition. I really like this high priestess. It's like she's holding this mirror or something, and it's like a much more beautiful world on the other side. So I feel for a lot of you, it's like there's some sort of opportunity coming in for you. She actually represents something that has a lot of potential. She normally has no roof over her head. She's sitting in front of the Temple of Solomon as well, and it kind of represents the fact that there's no limits to what she can create. So like with that tree card, remember what I was saying? It's like, how much does a tree grow? As much as possible. So don't limit yourself. You have the Three of Cups. I feel like there's some sort of celebration or like happiness coming in for you here, Virgo. So really like that. I also feel this, I don't really feel like this is necessarily a love reading. I feel it's more focusing on you, but if you are attracting love, it could be new love. With the Three of Cups, you have this Crossroads card, and the Crossroads kind of represents multiple options, really having like two options. With the Crossroads in the tarot, I always say like picking the new path is always like the good idea. So any choices you're making, kind of like moving in a new direction is probably a good idea. With the High Priestess, you have the Clover. This is an amazing card of like luck, good fortune, good things happening for you, and like surprises, winning, and all sorts of stuff. So these cards are super freaking slippery, by the way. I don't know what she puts on them. The person who creates these, like butter, she must soak them in butter or something. But anyway, I feel for some of you, this is like some sort of unexpected surprise that could be coming in for you. Really nice. With the Five of Pentacles, you have this Bees card. Again, not a Lenormand card, but it says sweetness, cooperation, hard work. Again, then I think you had the Sports card, which said collaboration. So anything you can do to work together with other people, I think would be an amazing opportunity for you. This could be in work or business, but it could also be like a love connection where you actually find a person who wants to work on a team. So really good reading. I would just encourage you to get messy as always with that Wilderness card. I would encourage you to tap into your creativity, but it looks pretty good. We're going to pull 5 main themes now. You have this thought card. I feel like you need to stop thinking. You have that hangman. The hangman is like saying, you've been thinking about something new in your life. I know you have, because I've been saying this to you for like 2 weeks now at least, that you've been thinking about a new direction, probably in work or business, but take it how it resonates. And I feel like the other side of it is that clover card, like something really nice, something very successful, but it's time to take action. You have this wife card. Some of you could be a wife, becoming a wife, or you could be getting a wife. Take it how it resonates. And I definitely feel there could be love. I don't necessarily think like, some of you might start dealing with a person at the beginning of this month, but for the most part, I feel like once we get to the second half of the month, there could be love coming in. Next, you have this misfortune card. I feel like this is saying be careful of unlucky people is really what I'm getting. So, if you have a person in your life who's not lucky or who just always has problems, I would be careful of those types of people right now, and I would make sure you're surrounding yourself with lucky people. Next, you have this surprise card. There's clearly a good surprise coming in for you, but I feel like the surprise is like, it's not really a surprise. It's like on the other side of you pick this crossroads, picking the new path, like, upgrading your business, evolving your business, evolving your relationships, whatever is evolving here. It's like the surprise is that it's probably really nice. And finally, you have this reunion card. I definitely feel there's like new love coming for you. Could be a Scorpio. You showed up in Scorpio's reading as well, and they have the same card. So could be a Scorpio, but this looks really good here, Virgo. I love this. So thank you for being here, and definitely enjoy your month.